Aloha, everyone, and welcome to Phoenix Friday. I have a very, very special guest, and I do have her bio, but first off, I'd like to say thank you to my friend for being here, Kris Groth. Let me tell you a little bit about Kris here. This is Kris Groth. She is an Archangel Life Coach, intuitive energy healer, spiritual teacher, sound healer, and best-selling author. Kris and her angels have been working together for many years to help clients heal their hearts, nourish their souls, and illuminate their paths, empowering them to elevate higher and live their light. Kris serves clients around the world through healing and coaching sessions, online courses, and powerful, very powerful guided sound healing meditations using crystal singing bowls. And her website is krisgroth.com. So that's pretty easy to remember, and it is on the scroll below. So thank you for being here with me. This is a very exciting time because if you guys have not yet noticed, on the event page, we were talking about the release of two books. So, Kris, please introduce yourself on a more personal level. What is it that inspired you to become such a great author?
Oh, thank you, Janelle. Thank you for having me. It's always fun to chat with you. Yeah, I'm excited to share my books. I have two fiction books that are just coming out. One was re-released this week, and then the second one is coming out April 4th. Um, and really, the books are an extension of the work that I've been doing as a healer, as a spiritual teacher, and it kind of brings the stories together of the work I've been doing for over 20 years, but bringing them into stories that people can experience as they read the book. So it's a different way of receiving the teachings and the healings, a way that you can see how this can work in your life, or because this is how the character Lily is going through her journey, and wow, that's a lot like mine, or and it kind of helps you to feel like you're not so alone on this path, and that there is hope. So that was my intention with writing the books, is finding a way of bringing this into a sharing it in a way that it was experiential, and also still brings that healing and that light and that hope to people who need it. So
I personally am a little bookworm. My safe spot was the library in my house. It was
mhm.
There's something about the feel of a book. And yes, you guys can order these books on Kindle. You can download them, but there's something about the feel of a book and respecting. And I know that the author's words were written on something else, but when I have the pages and the words in my hand, I feel so much respect for the authors. I always felt that books call you on a very personal journey. It doesn't matter the genre. Is that correct?
Mhm.
I was just talking about my my speech being like a okay, never mind.
You got it.
Anyway, and you would think I'd be able to speak better as being that I love to read. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. We have a lot of people popping on saying hello. Um, but as I was saying, books call to you, and what it is that you're meant to experience in a book. It's as if it's a journey all in itself. You know,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
actually how I got my one of my sons to read. I had one that was a total bookworm, wanted 6 books a night, and the other one was totally against reading. And I told him, I said, you can go anywhere you want in a book. You know,
Mhm.
books can take you on spiritual journeys like this one, or they can take you on adventures that get let you be the superhero. I mean, everything that we are drawn to is what our soul is calling us to be fed with. And I love that you chose to do this in a fictional story.
Hmm.
Um, and the reason why I love that is because a lot of times when we're going through our personal space, our lessons, our heartaches, um, people want to give us advice, you know,
Hmm.
and they do it from a very loving space. And I respect that highly. But then it turns into it's about them. And it's harder to put ourselves in it. But in this spiritual journey, this soul's healing series that you've created, we get to be the character in
Hmm.
it. We get to be the one learning the lessons and feeling and resonating with that call to the heart, that coming home space. So
Yeah.
I love that you put it in this manner of this type of book, because it breaks down the walls of resistance of hearing, oh, but that's you. You know,
Hmm.
I get to be the character. I get to
Right.
live this journey and feel the emotions of what is flowing through that.
Yeah,
My goodness.
I completely agree. I grew up as a bookworm also, and books were my escape. So, reading a book, you can be on um, a tropical island, or you can be the princess, or you can have all of these experiences, and in the safety of your little
Yeah,
cove where I'm hiding away with my book. I can be anywhere, I can be anything. Well, now, on the spiritual path, yeah, I've read a lot of the nonfiction books that teach about, the healing process, and teach about the soul, and all the different things that we're, trying to improve for ourselves, all the self-help books, and all of these things. And yeah, that's great, but then, and they might give you step by step of how to do it, but you read it and you're like, well, now what do I do with it?
right.
But
Right.
whereas, putting those teachings into a story like this, it becomes real. You can see how, okay, Lily's story is a lot like mine. There may be some differences, but we're all basically the same. And going through Lily's story, and kind of and feeling what she's feeling, and how she's struggling, and how she overcomes things and comes to the other side, it's like, wow, maybe I can do that too. And it gives it's easier to get the picture of what it might be like, in real life. How do you apply these things in an everyday setting? What does it look like when you're connecting with your soul and you're on your way to work, or when you're, struggling trying to figure out, what you want to do with your life, and how do you, weave this together? um,
Right.
and
And I love
it
that,
makes it
especially
a lot more accessible.
yeah, that aspect of integrating that speaking to the soul with life happens, folks. Because there is that the structure that you get in lessons, you know, and then you have to take that structure and try to put it in a life that flows. you
Hmm.
know
Yeah.
it doesn't always feel compatible.
Hmm.
It's like,
Right.
so it's beautiful to be able to resonate with words that are not just flat ground.
Hmm.
There is the ebbs and flows in the journey, and
Hmm.
they're all meant to flow just the way they're supposed to. you know
Right. Yeah.
but when we see a structure, a lesson, a step-by-step guide on the how to, it misses the life is happening in between. you
Hmm.
know so
Yeah, and we kind of imagine, the people that write self-help books that, everything is perfect, and we kind of have that up on the pedestal, that this perfect way of, if I could meditate all day long and I could be in this blissful space and everything would be working for me, and everything would come easy, and I'd have all this abundance and everything would be, just perfect. But then we come back to our real life, and then we beat ourselves up because our life doesn't look like that, what
Yeah.
we think that it's supposed to be. And we think that, oh, I must be doing something wrong because, I'm up and down all day long, and sometimes I'm connected, but most of the time I'm distracted, and all of these things come at me, and I don't, and so it's, that's real life. That's,
Yeah. Exactly.
and all we can do is keep coming back to these things that we've learned, keep trying to reconnect with ourselves, keep trying to, you know,
Honor that
go of,
human.
and be um, in that space. And with reading the story about Lily, you see that she has those ups and downs. She gets frustrated. She feels like she's not getting it. She's wondering about is she ever going to figure it out? All these messages, they say messages are coming all the time, but she's not getting them, or she gets messages and she doesn't know what they mean or what to do about them. That we all go through that. And I
Yeah.
think
Like,
it's a
yeah.
good reminder that, what, I'm just like that. Maybe I'm not so different. Maybe I'm doing it right. Maybe it's okay to be where I'm at.
Yeah.
And maybe things worked out for Lily, so maybe they'll work out for me too.
Right. Right. I love that. I love that. And speaking of life, you also have a Facebook group, Angel Inspired Living. And, having our angels support us in those ebbs and flows, in those ups and downs and challenges, in those empty spaces where we think, yeah, okay, they say that we're getting all these messages, but I don't understand them, or I'm not getting them. In this group, you really assist in bringing that into our daily lives, and I know for me, I call in my team. Already I'm greedy. I call them all in, you know, and that doesn't mean that my life is going to be smooth sailing.
Mhm.
It means that I'm in a place where I am better able to be aware. I'm better able to respond opposed to react. And I can find the peace and the lessons a little easier than had I not called in my team, you
Right.
know? And
Yeah.
so I believe that if anyone is looking for ways or support that have to do with bringing in both your connection, and life in general,
Mhm.
um, I really recommend that you guys go over to her Facebook group, and follow, join, and get that support from like-minded people that are going through the same life
Mhm.
spiral as everyone else, and so that we can
Right.
support each other and spiral up with the
Mhm.
support of our angels, opposed
Yeah.
to spiraling down. Because once that momentum down goes, it's it gets pretty easy to go in faster down, but when we're surrounded with people like you that
Mhm.
support and teach and mentor, um, having that group, Angel Inspired Living. Um, I love all your inspirational posts. I love that you respond to people when famous people like yourself are so busy writing books, teaching classes, mentoring others. It's nice to see that you actually put the energy into responding to those in your group. I think
Thank
that's
you.
so important, and I highly respect you for that.
Thank you. It's a nice to have a place where we can come together, and we can talk about angels, and we can talk about what's going on, and it's a safe place to do that. We don't have to worry about somebody thinking that we're off our rocker, or that or whatever, because it's a group of the same. We're all the same there. It's nice to have that support of people who are like us, and
Yes, it's
and it
normal
also
to say
encourages
it's
us.
normal to say that my angels came and said this to me, and I don't get it. And
Yeah.
people will understand this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I love to be around the energy of those of that like mind, like heart that
Mhm.
see that as normal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we feel like we belong. And
Mhm.
that is a big part to all of the effort that you have put into the group. Like I said, it's very important to me that if I join a group, that the person who started the group responds to those in it, and you
Mhm.
do, and you do so in a very loving way. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Um, and I'm gonna mess up the name of the book probably, but it is so. Wait, guys, I'm gonna get this. Uh, Soliloquy.
Oh, perfect. That was
So
beautiful.
soliloquy, and
Mhm.
that word, the title itself, really, really illuminates what this story, this journey is about.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and it means speaking to the soul. Thank you, Nick. I love you.
Yeah.
Nikki's in the background, guys.
Thank you, Nick.
Soliloquy. And this is the first book to a series of soul healing. And it really does begin with the title of the book. And maybe
Mhm.
you can explain what that word really means and
Okay.
how it inspired the story.
Yeah. So the word soliloquy is used in theater when someone is talking to themselves. That's a soliloquy. So like Hamlet doing a monologue, talking to himself. That's a soliloquy. And when I look at it in this context, where if we change the beginning of it to soul, when it's all about the soul, then yeah, as we're talking to the soul, that's exactly what Lily is doing on her journey. Is she learns to connect with her soul, she learns to have conversations with it, and in the beginning of each chapter, there's a journal entry where she's talking to her soul in her journal, and it's kind of it really shows her struggle with that connection, and with, okay, what are they, what is my soul saying, and how do I interpret that, or trying, as she, the more she, as she progresses on her journey, she gets better at at listening and at understanding. But it's that progression, that journey of struggle, that we've all been there. We've all sat and tried to connect, and waiting, crickets, nothing is coming. I want answers, but nothing is coming. And we've all been in that place, and
I
it's
still
not.
go
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, still. But it doesn't mean we're doing anything wrong. It's just all part of the process. And the more that she keeps going through it, and healing, and learning to trust, and um it does get easier. So it's her journey, but it's also all of our journeys. And I think that's something I keep hearing from people after they read the book. They's like, that was my story, you wrote that about me. And
Exactly. I mean, I could have been your muse. Because
Well, the interesting thing is that that story, like I did never wanted to write a book. I was sitting in meditation, and I had this message come in. I'm not usually, this was like 6 years ago, and at the time I wasn't really getting big messages. I was kind of I don't know. I was kind of new on this as well, as far as channeling goes. And but I did meditate quite often, and I was living a spiritual life. I was on a spiritual path, but the channeling part just really hadn't opened up for me yet. And I was meditating on it was summer solstice, and as I was meditating there, this message came in, and it was so strong. An angel saying that within the next year, you will have written a book. Like,
Hmm.
really? I don't write anything. I'm not a writer. This can't
I'm a
be.
reader. I'm a reader.
Yeah, I'm a reader. I'm definitely a reader. Um, but I didn't say no. I was like, okay, I have no idea about this, but so I just set it aside. And it was about 6 months later, the idea came in of what this book is going to be about, and that would be fiction, because fiction is um, what I read the most. So that made sense. Okay, so it's a fiction book, and I had an idea about the story, but then I thought, I have no idea um, how to write a book. I don't know the first thing about it. How do I even start? I didn't know. Well, so I put it out there. Okay, if I'm supposed to write a book, then you need to help me with this. 2 days later, came along a book writing class. Okay, so I signed up for that. I did that class, and that the book just flowed through me. I didn't have an outline written. I didn't know how it was going to end even until I got to that point. It just kept flowing through me. The whole thing was like it was channeled. The story came to me. And I was the one writing it down. So that was probably the easiest part of it. It was after that, trying to make it into something anybody else would want, the editing and um, the marketing, and putting it all to get all the work after that. That was the hard part, but the story came to me. It was the story that needed to be told.
I love that. Yeah, that's how I feel about my artwork and my poetry and stuff. I'm just the pencil, guys. I'm not the author really. I'm not the artist. I'm just the pencil. Because
Sometimes I would go back and read some of the things that I had written. I'm like, where did that come from? I don't even remember writing this.
I cannot recite the poems that I've written. There's no way. I literally have to read them because I have no clue. You know,
Hmm.
each one of my sketches was divinely inspired. Like I said, I'm just a pencil. And afterwards, I'd be okay. So this is your work. What do you want people to reflect on? And then the poems would come. So every piece has a poem that represents the art, and none of it is mine. You know, I just put my name on it because that's what you do. But it's not mine. It's not mine. And I do have to go back and actually read it. I cannot recite it. I can't. And afterwards, I'm always in awe. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, that's pretty deep. Um, so I get that. And what I'm hearing in regards to you actually beginning this journey into becoming this best-selling author is that and I'm going to take a cue from Elias Patras, and his saying is, when you say yes, the universe says yes back.
Hmm.
You know, and so what would you give the inspiring author, the ones that are sitting out there watching? Because a lot of our viewers are in that intuitive healing, it's spiritual journey themselves right now, and they have this yearning, they have this process of wanting to birth a book. You
Hmm.
know, um, other than when you say yes, the universe says yes back, what advice would you give those that maybe have been told, like myself, give me guidance, please, share your divine wisdom with me? For decades now, I've been told, write a book, write a book, or, you're going to be writing a book.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, thank you. And it's it's bubbling, it's brewing, it's cooking.
Hmm.
But what advice would you give those that do have this desire that's filling them, this call?
Yeah. Well, when these things are coming to you, they're coming for a reason. So if you're feeling like there's a book that's bubbling up, and you keep feeling that nudge, that from within you and from other people, that it's coming for a reason, and there's something within you that needs to be shared, that your that your soul is calling out for this for a reason. And yeah, you could say no and push it aside, and it may keep coming back. But it also, there is divine timing also, and I do believe in that yeah, it may come up in little nudges that are trying to prepare you for what is coming. And if you are open to, okay, if this is something that I'm meant to do, okay, show me how, help me to do it, being open in that way, that okay, if your angels and your guides and your soul are bringing this out for you, okay, there's got to be something there, and I'm trusting that, that there must be something to this. So, you know bring me the tools, bring me the people, bring me the help me, show me what I'm supposed to do with this. And
All in your team.
of course, your team is your team hasn't let you down yet. They've always got your back, and they maybe guide you and, help you along the way. But as Sunny Dawn Johnston, I've heard her say many times, is knowing that, my angels wouldn't bring me here and then drop me on my butt. They're bringing you here, and they've got your back, and they're not going to let you fail. They're not going to guide you into something knowing that you can't do it. That's not the way it works. That if you're being guided to do something, it's because your soul is calling for it, and that's something that needs to be shared, and you'll have all the help that you need. So just keep opening to it and trusting. Yeah.
Yeah, the trusting. And Raina was saying, I wish I learned this spirituality back when I was younger, you know. And
Hmm.
this is why that younger aspect is what just hit me. Is because as we evolve and grow, coming from a background where, things weren't always discussed or even empowered, you know,
Hmm.
we as light workers, way showers, healers, we have the opportunity through books like this to let the younger generation know it is
Hmm.
okay to be
Right.
you and to have this connection. You know, I
Yeah.
was I was reflecting on the book itself in regards to that. My animals are barking, so bark of truth, guys. Um, I was reflecting on the that desire. And as you were saying, the call will keep calling, the nudges will keep nudging. If this is
Hmm.
for your highest and greatest good, your team, your guides, your higher self, it's going to keep nudging you. And in this story, she had everything. She was doing what she felt like this was her life. This was what she was meant to be doing. This, you know, working in a field that she was passionate about. This everything, but yet there's this deep desire within, and um, that was something that I felt when I did and when I wrote the review. It was a coming home. It was a coming home to the heart,
Hmm.
from me anyway,
Hmm.
in experience,
Yeah.
because I felt um, I resonated with the desire of why am I hurting? What is it that I'm not getting or receiving or doing in my life that is not fulfilling that
Hmm.
emptiness inside?
Yeah.
And it didn't to me it didn't make sense because I'm like doing all of this, I'm doing the work. What is going on?
Hmm.
And yet when I would spend time in my sacred space, I would feel that I loved the divine so much I would cry because I felt like I'm still there's a link missing, that I'm not able to honor this divine love the way it's meant to be honored. You
Hmm.
know, that's that push, that extra. I need to do something inside of me
Yeah.
so that that love could really fully be respected and honored and shared with the world.
Hmm.
You know, um, so that pain inside is actually, for me, was a call to come home to the heart, to
Hmm.
fully come home in all of my aspects and accept all of me before stepping into sharing all of me. you know.
Right.
I
Yeah.
couldn't share all of me if I didn't know all of me, you
Mhm.
know, and what in my life and in my journey really resonated with me. I mean,
Yeah.
because I had gotten to a point I was in 15 different ministries and still was not enough. It was not enough
Mhm.
because I didn't have it in here. I didn't
Yeah.
come all the way home, you know, and it wasn't until everything was taken away that I realized how limitless I could really share myself, you
Mhm.
know, and
Yeah.
that was by coming all the way home, you know, and sometimes it takes falling on your face before you look up and
Mhm.
really, you know,
That's true. Yeah.
so it just, for me, it was a very much coming home story for me,
Mm.
you know, and I think everyone is going to take away the aspects that they resonate with the most. And
Right. And I think that's, something that is really unique about the story is whether you are just beginning your journey and are completely new to this, or if you've been like you, Janelle, your whole life you've been on this path, and you've tried a million different ministries and different ways, and you have your practices, but there's still something, there's still something that, what is it, this yearning, this desire for more. Why do I keep wanting more? I have so much, I'm so blessed, but why do I still want more? Why do I feel like I'm still not getting it? And I think that I know I feel that way. And it's something that maybe it's part of our human condition, or maybe it's just being on this spiritual path, that the journey as we continue forward, that it is, nudging us to keep going, that
expanding.
not to just stay stuck where we are, or that we did it, we're here, we're done, and we don't have to do anymore. But it's this continual process that, okay, you know what, there is always more. We can always go deeper, we can always, open up more, we can always bring in more love and light, and you know raise our vibration even more and radiate even more, and that it's not a one and done process, and then we move on.
So we have a question from Raina. How do we introduce this to our children so that they don't have to wait until they're older or much older? How, what would you suggest in regards to living an angel inspired life for your
Mhm.
children? How do you do that? How, as
Yeah.
we adults, introduce this to our children?
Well, part of it is how we are being, that our kids see how we are living our lives, and how we are, you know, we're being mindful about the things that we're doing. We're being respectful and loving in our interactions with people. They see that, and they take that in. You can also, go a step further in teaching your kids about angels, or about, the soul, or about the spirit, that, okay, you know what, when you're stressed about something, okay, let's take a deep breath, and we'll just connect in, and we'll, teaching them about meditation, and how to calm themselves down so that they can be more present. And it's those little things. They teach meditation in kindergarten now, and little kids just eat that up. It's because as when they're younger, they're closer to spirit than we are. The further we get away from the time we're born, the it's like we continue going further away from our connection until we intentionally come back and reconnect. But
Right,
as kids, they a lot of times they see angels, they sense other beings, they see auras, all that. They are so much more connected when they're younger than we are, at, like, I don't know, whenever we started this journey. But we get programmed, while we're in school and growing up, that none of that stuff is real. Just forget about that, and be in the real world. Well, that what is the real world, you
Yeah.
know? The more you can encourage your kids to stay in contact with that, you know, with the empathy that they're feeling, with the energy that they're sensing, with the, you know, keeping their intuition open, and, you know, the psychic abilities that they have when they're small, you know, keep encouraging that. That's a way to keep that going, so that they don't shut that down like we did.
Because once you realize that not everybody, because I started very young with my energy healing and seeing spirit and all of this. And then you realize as you get socialized that
Mhm,
not everybody sees the world through your eyes. You
mhm,
know, they're missing a little bit of something that I'm seeing. And if I say something, it's not received well, you know?
mhm,
It's my imagination. It goes into that file, and then we keep putting stuff into that file until that file is just so overloaded we haven't even looked at it all. You
mhm.
know,
Yeah.
it gets lost. And Tina says, I was told I'm a healer and an empath healer. Do I need to know Reiki to tap into my gifts? And you
Mhm.
are an energy healer. She and I have worked together and we've done collective healing. And she is very good at what she does. So I'm going to again address the question to you.
I don't know Reiki either. No, you don't need to know Reiki in order to do energy healing. And actually, reading the book, Lily learns how to be a healer. So it's kind of like there's some energy healing 101 woven through the story. Um, so that might be a good way to give you a little sense of it anyway. I did take classes, but they weren't Reiki. Just, you know, a way, the classes of, you know, how to sense energy and how to get that flow moving, and how to, when I put my hands on people, and to like to open up a channel of healing, and that channel was my connection with the angels. And at first I didn't even realize that that's what was happening. I was feeling energy in my hands. I was feeling it even when I wasn't doing anything. I had this heat and this buzz in my hands, and I was like, what's going on with my hands? There's something wrong with me. But it was this healing energy that you know, was like coming through and ready to, you know, I needed to do something with it. And when I became aware of my connection with the angels, and that flow of healing energy was coming through me from the angels, and when I, if I directed it or put my hands on people, I could feel what they were feeling, and I could feel, you know, things happening. So that was how it worked for me. But I would say, you know, start with connecting with yourself. You can start doing that healing on yourself, even, you know, as you're connecting with yourself, you know, feel into your body, where do you need healing, and bring that energy there, and, you know, see that energy coming in and going where you need it to go, and you know, healing what you need to heal. Because the most important thing is taking care of ourselves first. So if we can heal ourselves, and that's an ongoing process, you know, I'm constantly working on myself, and always want to be in a space of light, and, you know, high vibration, if I'm ever going to work on anybody. And that the more that we work on ourselves, you know, every day, connecting with ourselves, connecting with our angels, connecting with our soul, that's how we are in that flow of energy. And then you can take that next step of, okay, you know, what if I put my hands on somebody else, and I bring that healing energy through, what happens then?
Mhm.
So that would be, you know.
Really experiencing it,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, going to other healers and experiencing energy healing is a good way to get a feel for it also, to know what it feels like in your body before you try to feel it with somebody else's. Yeah.
yeah, I am a Reiki master, practitioner, teacher, but I had no idea that energy healing had a name because I started accidentally on purpose because I've always been um, clairsentient. I've always had that
Mhm.
since I was knee high to a caterpillar, and I'm still short, you guys. So anyway, but didn't know that it had a name when I started doing it, you know. And I believe that I went through the training to become a Reiki master because that's what was out, you know, and that's what people had confidence in, and this and that. But even as a Reiki master, my healing sessions are very set to my own modalities between my experience, my training, and my downloads. Where I go
Mhm.
is where I'm meant to go. How it happens is how it's meant to happen. And you said about the hands, you know. Um, what ended up happening for myself is simply that I could feel the energy in my mother when I was 4 or 5 years old. And I would give her massages because she was a very ill person. So I felt that where things were stuck, what needed to be moved, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how. I could feel it. And I knew I needed to move it innately. I knew I needed to break this up and move it and transmute it, but I didn't know how. And and I remembered the Serenity Prayer because I used to make everybody read it to me because I didn't know how to read. Um, and I knew that I needed to be in the sense of if I can change it, then give me the strength to change it. You know, if I could move it, then give me the strength to move it and let me know what I can and cannot do it. You know, and then I took the St. Francis prayer. I didn't know all the words. I couldn't remember all the words, but I got the gist of it. And in that was instead of saying, make me an instrument of your peace, I decided, well, if I could be an instrument of peace, then I can be an instrument of healing. So in my little brain, I spoke the words with as much intention as my little 4-year old body could handle to make me an instrument of your healing. And I've had hot hands ever since.
Mm,
But Reiki, I had no idea what that was about. All I
yeah.
knew is, and I used to just call them my special massages because after that, my hands did whatever they were meant to do, wherever they were meant to go, and I knew with full trust and confidence because I could feel it move, you know.
Mhm.
So titles, names, becoming a master, it's all from the same source, you
Mhm.
know. It's all from that divine energy. We're not magical. We are simply channeling that through and
Mhm.
trusting, you know, and with our guides and our support. And speaking of guide support and angels, you actually offer on your there is a link, Nikki Q link
Mhm.
for the free angel to find out which angel is working with you. So if you guys are looking at writing a book, getting into energy healing, crystal sound healing, any type of guidance that you need in your daily journey, take the free angel quiz and discover which archangel is working with you. Um, and thank you, Nick, for dropping the link for those.
And there's
Um,
a meditation that goes with it. So whichever angel you get, there's also a meditation that to help you connect with that angel, so that you can be in that energy and work with them a little easier. Um,
and this all began because you were open enough to do your own soliloquy, you
yeah,
know, to
yeah.
do your own speaking to your soul. And now I'm going to get into that solicitude. You
Hmm.
have this upcoming book. It will be released on the 4th, right,
Yeah.
of April.
Hmm.
And um, this is the second book in this series. And you guys stay tuned because hopefully in the fall we'll have another book to promote. But I'm just kind of putting that out there and setting the
Hmm.
intention of the universe. Um, but as somebody grows through this whole trusting and becoming comfortable with yes, I do have this inner communication. I am a vessel of divine communication, you know. um, there's another step, you know? There's always that expansion.
Mhm.
And so maybe we could talk a little bit about the solicitude book that's
Well,
coming out.
solicitude, so it's still part of the soul healing series. So there's the main character is Elise, and she is escaping from an abusive relationship and trying to her angels have been with her whole life. She had an abusive past, so she's known her angels were with her since she was a kid because they kept her safe in her unsafe household. So when the angels told her in the middle of the night that she had to get up and leave, she listened and she did. That's where the book starts out. So she has this spiritual connection, but she has a lot of healing that needs to happen. Um, she feels like she's not worthy of being loved. She because nobody has ever really shown that to her. She doesn't really feel like she deserves a better life, and so she's always like finding herself in these situations where people treat her badly because that's what she expects, or that's kind of the pattern that she's in, and now she having escaped, now she's trying to heal the things from the past so that she can find something better. And can she be worthy of finding love or a healthy relationship, or does she stay in this same cycle of abuse? And so it's part of her healing journey. And then there's also, like, along with that, it's the healing journey of Zeke, and he has his own challenges around angels, and of not really believing or not really thinking that this is real. He's intuitive, but he doesn't recognize it. And so it's the struggle between the two of them, and how they are um, growing together, and how they each need to heal, um, to in order to be open up to something better. So I'm really I'm proud of both books, but Solicitude, it's a much deeper story. I think, because we're going through the journey of both characters, um, and they each have their different things that come up. And in all relationships, we each have our struggles. We each have something that you know none of us are perfect. So in order for people to come together, they need to recognize their challenges and be supportive of each other. And how do we do that? How do we help each other move through our difficulties and our healing, and come out on the other side, and actually be there for each other? So oh, Tiffany said, I strangely resonate with the storyline. Are they sacred lovers? Well, you'll have to read the book and find out.
Good one. Yes. And it is being released on the 4th of April, you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
And speaking of that, it is on Amazon, where
Mhm.
you guys, I suggest you bring this book up to bestseller. When you order this book on the 4th, you can also write a review and help boost
Yeah,
uh, the energy of the book so that more people walking through this journey, this healing, this soul healing journey,
mhm.
can really go on a sacred adventure, because that's what I consider these stories
Yeah,
to
and
present.
it's something different. You don't see stories like this in the other regular Amazon categories. I was trying to find, okay, what books are like this, and the closest I could come was the Way of the Peaceful Warrior by
Mm,
Dan Millman. But that book is, I don't know, is it 30 or 40 years old already? So and but I think this one is similar. These books are similar to that in that, but it's a women's journey. These books are written for women, and it's okay. How do we um, navigate all the issues that come up for women in our lives, but beyond a spiritual path? And how do we stay connected to ourselves and still do what we need to do?
yes.
It's
Connection in life happens.
Yeah, yeah,
And they can
exactly.
also pick it up on your website as well. She
Mhm.
also has other books available on her website. So you guys should really check out krisgroth.com, and not only check out her books but her services as well. She's a fantastic author, and she really will take your soul on a journey if you are open to receiving that journey. And but she also offers courses and mentoring and healing sessions. And um, the crystal bowl. Okay, I just gotta talk about that. And if you guys missed our last Phoenix Friday where she was my guest, she ended the show with this beautiful crystal healing, prayer meditation, and just channeled everything that was meant to come out in that day. And I don't do crystal stuff because I probably will break it, but more of the drum. Okay. But there is a tone that when you do this with your crystal bowl, it's as if you're calling in the angels. It's like they respond to this tone, and it's almost like the tone that I hear in my ears when I know that angels are coming to give me messages, or I'm going to start channeling or something. Is there is this really crystalline tone to it. And whenever I'm participating in one of your meditations, I get chills behind it. So am I right in how I'm feeling when I hear the tone of when you're doing this meditation with the sound healing bowls?
Yeah.
What
So
is that
no.
tone like? Is that like their signal?
Yeah, the crystals have a high vibration energy, and when these are quartz crystal singing bowls, so the tone is a higher vibration than other tones that we hear, and the high vibration then is is aligned with the angels. So it's perfect for um, it takes us to a different place within ourselves, so it like a different level of consciousness, so it helps us to kind of get out of our mind and kind of be somewhere else.
Yeah, it
um,
can really
but it
take you.
also helps us to make that connection, the soul connection and the divine connection, so that we are more open to receiving information, we're more open to the flow of healing. It there's a calmness and a clarity to it. And I do believe the singing bowls they're like little beings all their own. So it's like calling in these singing bowl beings, and they're doing their work. They're doing it already as we sit here.
And see, I had no idea you had them sitting next to you. But you know what's going to happen right now. I, you know, I definitely I want to honor your time, because I appreciate you being here, and I really, really wanted to introduce my viewers to you, your talent, your gifts, and everything that you offer. But since you happen to have those next to you, and I don't want to control the message that comes through, but maybe you can set the intention for all of our viewers that are watching now, and or the viewers that will watch the replay, to be open to the soul's healing journey, and if so called, follow through with purchasing these books, and allowing yourself to be open to this journey in your words through these stories.
Mhm.
um, and not so much as a promotion, but hey, I'm going to promote you, girl. But but more so because of the intention behind putting these books out in the first place, for that soul healing journey, for
Mhm.
all that are open to it. So, would you bless us with closing the show again with your crystal singing bowls?
All right. I would love to.
Yeah.
Okay. So just take a deep breath and allow the sound waves of the singing bowl to take you where you need to go. We call on the angels, we call on the guides. We call on beings who are supportive of us and our highest and greatest good. And allow these sound waves to take you on a journey to yourself. Feel yourself sinking deeper within yourself. Beyond your thoughts, beyond the sensations of your physical body, beyond any real or perceived limitations, beliefs, expectations. Just allow yourself to sink in deep within yourself. Allow your mind to quiet and your body to relax. And give yourself permission to just be in this space. Allowing yourself to sink in, letting go even more. Imagine there is a column of light that flows through you. It moves down through your feet to the earth, connecting you to the earth below you. And it moves up through your entire body, connecting you to the heavens above you. And if you follow the column of light back down into your body, to the very center of you, that is where your soul lives. Imagine the place where the light from the earth combines with the light of heaven, where the light within you all meet in that very center. And sense your light feeling the brightest right there. And as you sit in that space of stillness, of light, of love, just allow yourself to be in that space, to just be. There's nothing you need to do. There's nothing you need to know. There's nothing you need to feel. Just be in that space with no expectation, no agenda. Just be. And in this space of being, feel yourself let go, opening, allowing yourself to receive whatever is coming for you. For some, there may be inspiration. For some, may feel a warmth or an image or vision. Or maybe it's the gift of stillness within yourself, this gift of being. Whatever that is for you, receive this gift with gratitude, knowing that this moment is a gift. And you've been given this gift because you're worthy, because you are loved, because you are. Now, feel yourself coming back to your body, bringing this stillness, bringing this peace, bringing all the gifts that you've received with you. Breathing that in, knowing that you are blessed, that you are loved, just for being here. Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you. Um, I, you always, I get chills every time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, and if you guys would like to know more about our beautiful Kris, check out her Facebook page, and they're in the comments. Check out her website. Look at the different stories that she has available on her website, or go to Amazon and purchase one of her books there. Um, but I really want to say thank you, Kris, for sharing your life, your love in the way you do, um, and being so open to support those that are looking to find an angel-inspired life. You know, because there's a lot of people out there walking through this journey without even realizing the support that they have available. You know,
Yeah,
and you help remind us of that. You
thank
are
you.
very beautiful light. And I just want to say, you know how much I love you, and I honor the inspiration that you share. So I would like to allow you to have the closing statement. If there's anything you would like to share, your final words, and before we say goodbye.
All right, thank you. Um, yeah, I'm honored to be a part of this, to have the opportunity to share this message, and to share the light and the healing and the messages through my books and everything else. It's, I don't know how I've been blessed with this, but that's what it is. It's a gift that I'm grateful to be able to share. So thank you for being here. Yeah, I would love to have you check out my books, but more than that, I would love to share the gifts that they hold. So and that was my intention with writing them, was to bring more love, light, and healing to the world, and that's what I'm bringing to you. So thank you for having me here, and oh, so much love to you.
Mm, I just love you. So, with that, we love you all. God bless, and allow the angels to help guide your path in this journey. So, it is aloha from me.
Mm, aloha.